Hi, it's me, Dr. Leah Clionsky, and I'm going to tell you about how our testing and evaluation services work at Thriving Child Center, because I think we do things a little bit differently. So the important thing to all of us is that you are going to get the right evaluation that will accurately answer the questions that you came to our clinic with. That's what's most important. And so we don't do all of the testing on the same day. Whether you're a child, or a parent of a child getting this kind of testing, or whether you're an adult. So the first thing we always do is we have a separate conversation, a separate intake with parents or with you if you're the adult getting an evaluation. And that's where we get all of our detailed information about what's going on, everything you've been experiencing, all of the diagnostic criteria, and we go through that process. And then at the end, then we decide exactly what's going to happen if we decide to move forward with testing. So sometimes we do this initial intake and we say, actually, we don't think you should do the testing. There's just no way, based upon what we've discussed, that this testing is going to give us the information that you need. Or we really don't think you're going to meet criteria for the thing you're curious about. So there's no point in putting you or your child through the testing. Or sometimes we're so glad you came in. This is what happens in the majority of cases. Here is the assessment that we think is going to answer your questions. And here are, if any, changes that we would suggest to the assessment based upon what we have discussed. And then you come back, or your child comes back, for the actual in-person part of the testing. You complete forms as well. We get forms from teachers if that's applicable. We write the entire thing up, and then we have a feedback session where we go over the report with you so that you can understand all of our reasoning and the results of the testing, and you can really move forward with treatment recommendations. One of the other things that we do in our assessment clinic is that if we are noticing sensory challenges that we think would make your child a great candidate for occupational therapy, and we know that we're going to make that recommendation at some point in the evaluation, we'll just make that recommendation immediately so that you can actually start occupational therapy right away. So we'll send you over to a trusted clinic. They'll get you in really quickly for their own evaluation. And that way you're not waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then finally having to start looking for OTs that we recommend. So our goal always is to get people the help they need as quickly as possible and to do the assessments that we think are going to be the most useful as we can possibly provide. And that's our goal in all of our services, and especially in our assessment clinic.